as I said earlier, the point I was making was that Hollywood always gathers the wrong lessons. Every time they succeed, they're like, let's figure out how we could screw this up. They're doing this right now because Barbie is a $1 billion movie at the box office. And I think one thing that everyone can agree on, whether you like the movie or you didn't like the movie, what it tells us is that Hollywood needs to stop shoehorning women into roles that traditionally go to men, a la sometimes superheroes, spy thrillers, action roles, and focus on telling stories about women by women within the framework of their own world, right? It works. But that's not what they're gleaning from this. What they're gleaning from this, let's make more movies about toys.
Yeah, so Randall Park pointed this out. He said this industry is taking the wrong lessons. For example, Barbie is this massive blockbuster, and the idea is make more movies about toys. No, make more movies by and about women. Now, when Randall Park says this, he's saying it in a more of a woke, feminist frame. Like, he wouldn't have cared whether Barbie made money. He would say, like, still make more movies by women for women because, you know, female solidarity or something. Yes. But then now, like, all of these companies are thinking, like, what brand can we make a movie out of instead of what story can we get people to, you know, be interested in. Like, it's a way to engage with brands rather than people.
Yeah.
He's right, but it's a little bit like Robert Downey Jr. saying that if women ruled the world, we'd have no war and it'd be all peace. Like, oh, really? Come on.
Sort of like that.
Come on, man.
Hasbro has launched Hasbro Entertainment, and some of the IP they're going to make movies out of include Nerf, G.I. Joe, Play-Doh, Peppa Pig, Transformers, My Little Pony, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering.
The Dungeons and Dragons movie didn't do that well either.
It was actually, I thought it was charming.
People liked
it didn't make enough money.
It didn't make enough money to justify a sequel. Also, I asked the chat a question, ladies and gentlemen. I said, which toy would you make a movie? Would you like to see a movie about? Right now, in first place is Hot Wheels. I imagine a Hot Wheels being kind of like Twisted Metal or Fast and the Furious.
Well, there is a Hot Wheels movie coming, so we're good.
Yeah,
that's already happening.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Play-Doh is in third place with 19%.
You're not making a movie about damn Play-Doh.
Let's go.
Let's just show kids eating Play-Doh.
And then Nerf is in second place with 33%. My Little Pony is in third place. We got some bronies in the chat.
Yeah, you're on watch.
Who want to see the brony movie?
It's a little sus.
But look, I could see a Nerf movie happening. Maybe like Small Soldiers.
After Barbie, everyone is going to want a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've done G.I. Joe, and they were not really that. I mean, I like them, but I understand why people who love G.I. Joe don't like them. They're not really accurate to the lore.
But Barbie's such a unique property.
Yeah.
It's a toy. There's a history. You've got feminism. You've got an evolving culture. You've got generations of fans. There's so many things.
The creator is an
tied.
interesting person as well.
Yeah, just the whole thing is so unique. I don't think you can say, oh, let's make a lesson from that movie because it's such a unicorn.
Yeah. And in my opinion, I think it is because women have been starved for movies made about them at theaters. They're making movies for women. They're just doing it off of men's properties that women aren't interested in seeing. Women don't want to go watch superhero movies, even if it's a woman starring in the movie.
Yeah, feminists think that women feminists think that all men are the president and that all women should try to be the president.
Yeah.
And anyone that's not the president, it's either the president or their dad. and there's nobody else.
Or the
wacky
wacky neighbor.
They're starved for something that's not, what was the Don't Worry Darling? Like, that actually ended up doing okay, didn't it? At the
yeah, it wasn't the bomb and it wasn't a huge hit, but it did okay.
But they're
it
starved
sounded like a Handmaid's Tale reimagined.
But they don't need all the movies about women to be depressing and
I don't want all the movies about women to be like depressing dystopian worlds where men are oppressing you and you have to rise up. Like that's not
so
really.
Maybe the idea is that there's a market for summer blockbusters that are for women. It's just a very unique market. Because
what about rom-coms? Whatever happened to rom-coms?
Yeah,
no. What I'm saying is that
blockbusters put at least in my mind they put in your head this big movie with a lot of action and explosion, blah blah blah, and women aren't looking for action movies. They're looking for movies about relationships.
And that costs less anyway.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That Barbie is a unicorn because it is technically a summer blockbuster, kind of, sort of, really.
Yeah.
But most blockbusters have themes that are geared to men, like you're saying, right? Like CGI, explosions, that type of stuff.
When you saw Barbie, what was the audience like? Did they dress up?
Yes, there were tons of women dressed up like in pink,
Yes.
going in girl groups, getting the pink cocktails. It was like a whole moment for them. They take the pictures in the Barbie box. Like, it's more than just the movie, which is why I think they paid so little attention to what was wrong with the movie.
I agree, and that's exactly what I had. I went to a screening, and it was just like that. Women looking beautiful dresses, high
Looking
heels.
better than the actresses in some cases.
Doesn't that kind of speak to the fact that it's just an excuse for girls to get girled up?
We'll give them more excuses.
Only release movies for women during brunch.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a bad thing either.
Yeah.
That I'm a dude that thinks like it's cool when chicks dress like chicks. Like I like women. So like, yeah. I mean, I think
give them more excuses.
Exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Give people more excuses to go and do stuff with their friends. A reason. I mean, it is there. Like there is something to be said about like getting kind of dressed and going out and doing something. You know, shave your face, wash your butt, and like get yourself together and go out and do something social.
Yeah, and like when we're thinking of feminist movies, female filmmakers, things that are made for women, it's usually, like you said, Brett, something depressing. Like, I don't think any girls are going for a girls' night out to see The Woman King or to see Don't Worry, Darling, or to see Women Talking, which is literally about a religious fundamentalist community reacting to sex abuse.
You know what this is? You know what that means? You know who needs to sneak up in here right now? The Hallmark Channel needs to go to theaters and just start making big budget Christmas movies.
Literally, Christmas movies, rom-coms. Where are they? Where are they in the movies right now? They're all on streaming.
A big budget Christmas movie, a big budget rom-com.
Didn't that
Christmas
Jennifer
movie.
Lopez, Owen Wilson rom-com last year do really well?
No,
No?
it did. Yeah, and it's hard to watch.
It's weird because like they have such big name recognition,
Yeah.
and I guess they felt like they could lean on that.
It's a
But
horrible story. When you
Then
read
the
those
next
stories.
rom-com I remember is Bros,
Yeah.
Well,
which
Ticket
wasn't for women.
Ticket to Paradise did pretty well. That was Julia Roberts and George
Yes.
Clooney. And then Shotgun Wedding was okay, and that one went mostly to
The
streaming,
Channing
though.
Tatum one with Sandra Bullock did well the year
Yeah,
before.
Lost City.
Lost City, but that was like not just a rom-com.
It was adventure
was an
rom-com.
adventure
yeah.
rom-com.
One of the biggest problems with Barbie is that she didn't get with Ken at the end.
Yeah.
I think that, it's fine if they chose to leave Barbie Land and become human, but Ken should have made that decision with her, gone with her, and they get married at the end.
It's time to make the Xena
That'd be the
Warrior
best
Princess
ending.
movie. How have they not made a Xena Warrior Princess movie?
That is surprising, yeah.
It's like it's kind of like how that.
Don't give them any ideas.
I'm still surprised that they haven't remade the show Dark Angel from James Cameron from the early 2000s, which is literally like a hot female mutant, like half human, half mutant, who's like all the superhero before superheroes were big in the industry. So they could have done that, but they're not going to do that because they're going to keep just shoehorning them into ones that were originally made for men. Men aren't going to want to go see them in the same numbers. Men still consistently come out for the superhero movies about women more than women do, and the women only go because the men drag them along to go see it for the most part. But maybe what was the Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum one called?
Lost City.
Lost City. That might be where they need. That might be the middle ground that they need to find their niche to make big budget, but for women to draw them to theaters. Because what it is like normally, like say the husband and the wife, they switch off picking their movies for the weekend. If the wife picks that one, the husband's going to have a lot less pushback for something that at least seems like it slightly appeals to him, right?
I agree.
Like, I think they could do that. I think we could end up seeing something like that. We need a renaissance for women's movies because Ocean's 8 did okay, if I remember correctly.
It did pretty well.
It did pretty well. Like there's something to be said that there are movies to be made that appeal to women. Obviously, that's not what that is. That was still a shoehorn of the story. But it's like they haven't cracked the formula yet. And
Are men the majority of theater goers?
I believe so.
I'm going to guess so, but I don't know for sure. I need to see the numbers on that, honestly.
Yeah.
They probably are, if I
Yeah.
had to guess.
Like it's just it just feels like they're because Hollywood's always trying to tap the market for the phantom audience that doesn't actually exist, and there is an audience for women wanting to get dressed up and go to the movies with their friends, but you got to give them a reason to be there.
Like Sex and the City, the first movie. I think the second one was pretty bad, but that was like an event. You go, you dress up, you have your apple teenies before you see the movie. That's need like and Barbie's the modern version of that.
Yeah. Now they'll do a Sex in the City Barbie crossover.
Please no.
Barbie in the City.
Please
It's
no.
going to come out and it's going to be amazing. Sarah Jessica Parker.
It starts
will
off right when she leaves the gynecologist office.
And just like that, I have got genitalia.
Yes. It's so funny. Zach from Comics Matter reviewed all of it in just like that. Like this guy who does he has a second channel where he does movie reviews. It's all like comic book and action movies and then just random episodes of Sex in the City. It's amazing. So look, there is a market to be filled here and they're not doing it. But what of these would you like to? Oh, also I have to show you this map somebody made. Like, you've seen the Marvel? Every time Marvel has a new phase, they list out all the movies on screen. There's this great. You can see it right here. Barbie, Polly Pocket, 2023. Ken Origins.
Oh, no.
The Pink Knight Rises. Magic 8 Ball. I think there's a horror movie, Magic 8 Ball movie to be made. Like the Ouija.
Yeah.
Like the Ouija board. Hot Wheels and Uno. Also, there was another one made. It was like a scientist cinematic universe. It was like Oppenheimer, and then after that was like Feynman, and it lists all these famous scientists, and then finally it gets to like E = MC squared is like the Avengers of it.
What is that other one?
They did make a Young Einstein, but it's a way different movie.
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what.
Is it sort of like the Bop It?
Must be. Like, did you see that video?
Twist it, pull it.
Yes. They could do that.
The Bop It.
I
We'll have a
disapprove of
movie.
all of this.
Yes. Well, you don't want any of this?
Disavow.
Yeah.
Disavow.
So we'll see where it goes, but I want to see women have, because other things, it might lead to less polarization. So if guys don't feel like their movies are constantly being encroached upon and having their scripts changed for the sake of women, it might help if they start making some actual movies for women.
No, that's the point.
I know. I'm thinking utopian here. Okay, I'm thinking utopian here.
Fine.
I know they wouldn't
Fair,
actually do that.
Fair enough.
But I'm
Fair enough,
thinking
fair.
positive.
I'm not against female action heroes. They're great. Some of the actresses do a wonderful job. But I'd love to see a woman in an action movie when the bleep hits the fan, she says, eek, and then runs away. Like, actually act like a woman might.
Yeah.
Much like a dude might do that.
Well, no, that's how they do that in the movies now. The guy does that.
Yes,
in
right,
the
that's the
movie
guy.
now, the guy goes, eek,
Yeah.
I'm scared, and runs away.
And then the girl
woman
beats up the monster and pees on standing up.
Yes. It hits him with a copy of feminist theory.
Right.
Right?
He stands over and pees.
Yes, it's
like
it's
standing
fantastic.
up on it.
I want to see them do better with this stuff because I think there's a way we could find some way back to the middle where the guys get the guy movies and the girls get the girl movies.
I mean, I think that's going to happen because people are rejecting strongly the essentially the dissolution of the sex dynamic.
Gender roles, like traditional gender roles.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of not using the term gender personally, like the sex differences between people.
Sexual dimorphism.
Yeah, because men are, because I used to believe there was a time where I found the argument that gender and sex are different. I found it compelling. I don't find it quite as compelling as I used to. So,
and what you're saying actually is ironic because movies want, what they call it, a 4-quadrant, like it appeals to this, it appeals to that. And then they do things that are just separating us. Like have it do things that really Lost Cityize the whole process where you're thinking about everybody.
Yeah. Well, but also isn't the kind of the arguments like when you try to appeal to everybody, you end up appealing to nobody?
Yeah, that's it. But I think good writing is good writing. I think Lost City was a very well-made movie. It was smart, had appealing actors, so you can do that. But you're right, there is that fear that you water it down so much.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.